Hello, welcome to the West Ham Way YouTube. Myself, Mark Carlaw. This is a Leeds United preview for the game tonight. But before we start talking about that, just want to touch on the news that's come out not too long ago that our co-chairman, David Gold, has passed away at the age of 86. Very, very sad news, of course. David Gold and David Sullivan took over the club in 2010. Obviously, since then, there's been some ups and downs, no doubt about it. But at the end of the day, David Gold was a good man and someone that loves the club. It was very, very clear that he was a West Ham boy through and through. Obviously, he actually played as an apprentice for the club once upon a time. And of course, he lived very close to the bowling ground. Obviously, our previous home. I mean, I've never met David myself personally, but I've got to say that if there was anyone I wanted to meet out of the owners of the football club, it was always him. He just come across like such a really decent fella and someone that was genuine, loved the club. And yes, it's a very sad day. What we'll do is the West Ham Way are going to give our own sort of tributes to this. We will do a separate video on this, talking about David and what he's done for the football club and just about the man himself, really. But obviously, we wanted to mention it going into this game tonight. Of course, though, at this time, to be honest, our thoughts are just with his family and friends now. It was obviously a very, very sad time for them. So, our thoughts are with those. The game tonight, it's a big one. And really, the passing of David Gold, it does add emotion now to it, a little bit extra, because let's be honest, we're all quite anxious about the result, or are anxious about the game. And, there's a little bit of a part of you that thinks, well, I wonder if David's passing will add that extra for West Ham tonight, that little bit of togetherness that maybe we've been lacking lately, whether it be from the players to the manager to the fans, everybody. It hopefully will give us a bit of unity tonight. Obviously, at the end of the day, our thoughts are with his family. And as I say, things are bigger than football, but I'm sure that David's and his family, all they would want is for West Ham to do well tonight for him. And let's hope we do, because at the end of the day, this is a big game, one that West Ham have to get a result, really. Arguably, David Moyes has to get a result. You'd think a defeat probably would spell the end of his tenure. Well, I've said this now previously a few times about the games coming up, and it hasn't. So I'm not saying that if he loses, he's going to be sacked. I think it's quite clear it probably won't be the case. However, you kind of look at it and think, if we lose to Leeds tonight, that's 6 defeats on the spin. Can you really see him surviving 6 defeats on the spin? I don't really know many managers that can. I don't think Pep Guardiola would survive that. I think it's a game that we just have to win. As I've said, we'll talk about the whole situation of what's happened with David Gold in another video. So we do want to focus on the match tonight and talk about our opponents and talk about, our situation, our injury situation, how we're going to line up. So first of all, looking at the opposition, I mean, they're in trouble. They're struggling this season, struggling to get going. The West Ham Way on Patreon did an interview with a Leeds fan, which was very interesting to get their view of it. And to be honest with you, they're not confident at all. Much like West Ham, let's be honest. When you're down the bottom and you're in a rut, you really don't feel confident really going into any match. So they feel the same. Looking at Leeds, actually, they play quite a tight system, quite a congested system under Jesse Marsh. And I think that's something West Ham will look to exploit. I think that West Ham realistically will try and absorb the pressure like we usually do. I think we'll try and play defensive and play counter-attack. And we need to put that into effect tonight, use the wings well. This is a big game for the likes of Jared Bowen, for Ben Rama. They really need to get wide and want that ball. I'd really like to think that we've been working on that on the training pitch. You've got, Declan Rice and Paqueta possibly in the midfield. I don't know the lineups yet. The time is now, as I record this, just about 4 o'clock-ish. And I do think that there's going to be some changes. I'm hearing there possibly going to be some changes to the formation for the one that was against Brentford. I think this is like we put in a previous video. I think David Moyes now is throwing his dice. I think this is the last throw, really, for me. I think we've got to start seeing an improvement of what's being worked on and what's going to, something has to work. Something has to click for West Ham here. And tonight is a crucial night. I'm just doing the quick notes here I've done before the game. Sorry about this video. Leeds are very resolute in their defence. We've seen that in their previous games. If you look at their last results, they were like Newcastle away, drew 0-0. It was all Newcastle. I think Leeds had one shot on target the whole game. That just goes to show that the grit in their side. This is the worry for West Ham, and I think, and for everyone, and myself especially, I really do feel that we need to start showing some fight, that we're in a relegation battle and we need to get out of this. And this is the game tonight where I really want to see that. I really want to see West Ham roll their sleeves up and fight to get a result. Because that's what it is like in a relegation fight. You do need to show that grit, that determination, and get it over the line, grind out these points. We can't just keep losing and just keep blaming other things and circumstances. I mean, dare I say it, like we did against Brentford, really, with saying, we played really well, but it's just undone by a couple of sloppy errors. We've got to stop that. You can't just keep blaming. At the end of the day, we've got to be focused and get a result. It's a massive game, massive game. Looking at their results recently, as I said, I touched on the Newcastle game, 0-0 with those, and that's a good result. And considering that was at Newcastle as well. But as I say, that they were bombarded and they managed to hang on. So West Ham have to work very hard to break down their defence. The game before that, they lost at home 3-1 to Manchester City. To be honest with you, it could have been way more. City were very dominant. But again, there's no shame in that, really, and probably hard to reflect on that, to reflect where they are. Now, the game before that's the interesting one, the Tottenham away. They lost 4-3, but they were ahead, I believe, 3 times in that game. I think West Ham have got a really tough game in their hands tonight. This is going to be a really tough game. This is a 6-pointer. We really need to get a result. A draw, I said it in the previous video. Yes, we will walk away going, but it's not a bad result. Going away to Leeds, anywhere in the Premier League, getting a point is a good result. I do understand that, but because of the situation we're in, it really isn't a good result. It can't be considered a great result or whatever. You can probably say it's okay. But realistically, we have to get the 3 points tonight. By hook or by crook, we've got to win. I'm not confident, but you never know. Elland Road notoriously got a fierce home support. They will be fully behind them. You just know they will be. This is going to be one of those games that West Ham are really going to have to deal with that. But West Ham, we know our travelling support. We know how loud we can be. David Gold will be in our thoughts tonight. The players, management, everybody, fans, and I'm sure they will be roaring behind them tonight. They know that we need them. We need them. They need us. We need unity at this football club at the moment. There's a lot of division at the moment. You can sense it with what's happening and how this season's panning out, how this year's panning out. So who knows? Maybe this is the night where things click a little bit and we get together, because if West Ham can walk away with 3 points tonight, it would certainly give everyone a massive lift. And it's needed now. We desperately need a lift. We need to feel some excitement. We need to start getting some belief in amongst our players, amongst everybody, to think that we can get out of this mess. I'm just having a quick look down my notes here. As I've said earlier, this is going to be one of those games where we just have to play to our strengths. And our strengths are set pieces. I know they haven't been good for a while, but we really need to rediscover that, and the counter-attack system. We've got players that can exploit it. Personally, for me, this might be a little bit controversial, I'd quite like to see Antonio play tonight. The only reason I say that is because I believe we need that attacking presence there. I think we're going to need that pace, that power, and I think we need to see that. I'm not saying I'll be disappointed with seeing Scamacca start. I just think that's the way I would go with this. I'd want a bit of pace in the side. I just think that's the way it's going to go. This is going to be a really tough game tonight. My gut feeling is that we're not going to get anything from it, if I'm going to be completely honest. However, I'm going to say a draw. I'm going to go with a 2-2 draw. David Gold's passing is a big thing to happen to the football club. There's no two ways about that. There will be a lot of emotion out there today. I appreciate there are some fans that have probably David Gold and Sullivan aren't the most popular with them, and that, that's fine. They've been at the club a long time, and there has been some downs, but there have been some ups as well. And I think fans need to remember that. Just looking back and thinking when they took over the club back in 2010. We were in dire straits financially, close to liquidation, really. They came in the club and saved us. Yes, some of the decisions have been controversial, haven't gone down as great, but ultimately, if you look on the face of it, look at where West Ham were and where we are now. How are things better? Of course they are. We've just come off the back of a European journey, you know, and David Gold was instrumental in bringing David Moyes back to the football club. And look what he delivered when he did come back. It was excellent. But we're in the here and now. This is a big night tonight. I'm sure that everyone will be united. I really hope we are, and we can come away with those valuable 3 points. My word, do we need them. Thanks for watching, everyone. Cheers.